around this time every Thursday. I love the segment of the show because we talk to the great Mr. Skin from MrSkin.com, the #1 WWW page. And I go there almost every freaking day. Who am I kidding? I go there 3 times a day. Skin, how you doing today?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. Let me commend you for having one of my favorite actresses on your front page, and that is an original video, The Best of Ashley Judd.
Oh, you're an Ashley Judd guy, huh?
Oh, love that Ashley Judd, yeah. And you have a ton of stuff on the front page today.
Yeah, I think she, to be honest, she became, or she was pretty popular, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of her great stuff and her fame was in the 90s, but boy, she had a run there in like 96 to 99. And she did a few things into the 2000s where she was in like Norma Jean and Marilyn about Marilyn Monroe, and a movie called Normal Life with Luke Perry, where she did some fantastic nudity, and we're big fans of her. But she, like I said, most of her good stuff was in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. So what do you got for us this week, Skin?
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but it is National Masturbation Month, believe it or not. So,
Well, that escalated quickly.
yeah.
As we call it around here, Baby Huey Month.
Yeah.
Year. Or as I like to call it, Lone Rangering. Yeah. It's,
Lone Rangering.
So we did a pretty fun list right at the front page of MrSkin.com to celebrate this, where we have the greatest moments in, let's just say, celebrating Palm Sunday.
Nice.
I'm trying to think.
Well,
how to
I'll
say
tell
it.
you, the top 10 spanking scenes.
Yes.
Yes.
It's really good. The best trolling the Bermuda Triangle. But anyway, we have in movie history. There's really been some great ones. Famous people. Natalie Portman. You might remember in Black Swan is a famous.
Oh yes.
Madonna in Body of Evidence is a legendary one, which is on our list. And like I said, there's famous actresses here that. And who could forget Shannon Elizabeth in American Pie?
Of course,
so, it's really a fun list, and we did this in honor of a. It's funny because they call it Masturbation Month, but we all know that it should be year, not month.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
By the way, also later on the page, later down on the page, so to speak, there's also another tribute with the sexiest vibrator scenes.
Oh my God! I mean, we're really, we're pulling out all the stops this weekend.
So to speak, yes.
So anyway, it's a fun list if anyone wants to check it out. And I was trying to think of different ways to say it, so it's a little nicer for radio, but maybe like dialing the rotary phone might be one. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Turning on the sprinklers. I mean, I don't know.
Turning on the sprinklers.
I'm trying to keep it clean. Anyway, so this is a fun list at the front page if anyone wants to.
Hey, I've got to ask you, what the hell, HBO, man? I've been watching a lot of HBO lately, and they've got this show called The Nevers and Mayor of Easttown, I think.
Yeah, that's with Kate Winslet that a lot of people are really liking. And
there's a ton of nudity on these shows.
Yeah, it's good. Well, every week there's new shows that come out. This Nevers is it's a new show. It's about London in 1899, and it's like Victoria, England, so you think, that's going to be boring, right? But bustle dresses and industrialization and all that. But then, so they do like a revisionist version of history, and then like 3 years prior to that, there was like this unexplained event, and then all these women have these supernatural powers. Like some can control fire, some can see the future, and then there's like one where there's this girl who's grown over 10 feet tall. So it's kind of like kind of a fantasy show, but people really like it. But I got to tell you, a lot of great nudity in the Nevers so far. Not actresses you guys would be really familiar with, famous, but some really good nudity. And then that Mayor of Easttown is Kate Winslet,
yes.
and she, of course, can't be in anything without doing a nude scene. She was nude in the first episode. So.
Now, I've got to ask you something here. Tawny Katane passed away at the age of 59, and she was best known for the Whitesnake videos, but had she ever done anything nude?
Well, yeah, she was also in the Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks is like her mainstream big thing. But, yeah, the Whitesnake video was huge. But a couple years before that came out in, 87 or so?
Yeah.
A couple years before that, in 1984, she did the classic The Perils of Gwendolyn in the Land of the Yik Yak, one of my favorite movie titles of all time, in which she was very naked. And she did about 5 or 6 movies where she was nude. But Gwendolyn is the best. But, it was sad because she was only 59, which I didn't realize.
Right.
And it was just weird to hear. And she's always been a big favorite at MrSkin.com.
All right. Well, you see, now I know. I'm going to go and take a look at those videos. Her face looks almost unrecognizable when she was younger compared to the way she looked near the end.
With all the work she
had done. But
So anyway, it was a sad one, and it's always, especially one when you've done iconic things like that video in the '80s and stuff. So anyway, so maybe you could box the one-eyed champ to that one.
Hey, I've got one more question for you. Going back to now, what show is it that had the woman that was 10 feet tall?
The Nevers.
The Nevers. Okay, I haven't seen that part yet, but I want to ask you the Nevers, and that is like Elizabethan England.
Yeah, Victorian. Yeah.
How much hair is there on a 10-foot woman?
Oh my gosh.
Is that the new category? The biggest hair pie?
We call it a haystack.
Nice. There we go.
The great Mr. Skin. All right. There's a brand new hair. That is, you've got to show that picture. That's a brand new category this year for the Mr. Skin Anatomy Awards. All right,
haystacks.
The haystack. The best haystack.
The 10-foot woman with the biggest haystack. I'll talk to you later, Skid.
Later.
Okay, bye. You know
I love that's what they sit down at a conference table about, is to have a conversation about what to call that. That's their day job.
Haystack.
Amazing.